Lost but not forgotten. The tragic case of America's lost child, Joseph Augustus Zarelli. Some mysteries remain unrevealed through the ages. As years pass, time trickles forward, and the dark secrets conceal them further in the layers of time. But how far can one go in hiding a crime? In the end, the carnage has a way to express itself from the services of the past. Today's case is about an innocent soul whose identity remained unknown for decades, and eventually the tales of bloodshed became prominent before the world, carrying some gruesome details. Welcome to AF Crime, the channel that brings you fascinating crimes all around the world. If you're interested in this kind of content, this channel is for you. Make sure to like this video, click on the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to keep you updated on our recent uploads. Now, let's get right into the video and investigate more about this case, which became a huge mystery for the entire America. Philadelphia is known for its woodlands. The woods, which stretch at lengths across this region, carry multiple stories which are engraved permanently in the ink of time. Fox Chase's Susquehanna Road was known to be an area that used to witness multiple faces every day. There were travelers, explorers, locals, and students who took this route on a daily basis. Because of the far-stretched woods, muskrats were found in abundance, which made the locals take adequate steps to control their growing population. In the woods adjacent to Susquehanna Road, muskrat traps were found in abundance. On February 25, 1957, a local turned up to the woods as he wanted to check out the traps for muskrats. Though he didn't find any muskrats, there was something else that caught his attention, and he reached for it. There was something wrapped in a blanket that intrigued him. Upon reaching closer to the blanket, he found a child's body in it. This made him panic because he imagined the never-ending questions which he would face if he reported the body to the police, so he kept his fears to himself and left. After a few days, a student was driving through the area as he got interested in exploring the muskrat traps. So he pulled up his vehicle and found the same body wrapped in a blanket. Though he was fearful in the beginning, but afterward he reported to the police as he deemed it necessary. Soon after the report, the police arrived at the site and found that it was the body of a 3 or 4-year-old child and was enclosed in a bassinet cardboard box. There were bruises and scars on the body of the child, and among the most bizarre scar was the L-shaped one located under his chin. Another interesting revelation was his trimmed hair. It seemed that the child's hair was trimmed hours before he was killed because there were strands of hair at the back of his neck and body. From early medical testing, it was hinted that the child was extremely malnourished, which indicated that he had been kidnapped for many days since there were clear signs of starvation and bruising on his body. The police initiated an investigation about his identity on February 26, 1957. At that time, the case seemed very easy to them since they were positive that they could find out the true reason and potential motive behind the death of the child from the fingerprints which they had received. Furthermore, they also started taking small measures at first. In the beginning, they shared almost 400,000 flyers indicating his appearance in the Delaware Valley with the hope of finding out his parents to no avail. A team of almost 270 cops searched the area from where they had discovered the body and the area adjacent to it with the hope of finding a clue of the murderer. Apparently, they received a blue-collared corduroy cap, a white handkerchief with the letter G knitted on it, and a child's scarf. However, this evidence couldn't help them a lot. The post-mitten photography of the child was also distributed among the inhabitants of the area with the hope that someone might have seen the child in that area, yet they didn't receive any news about his identity. Soon, they buried the child where no possible trace was found. After some time, the police stopped making any leads on this case, but there was a person who still worked on his own, and his name was Remington Bristow. He used to work in the medical examination unit, and he was interested in finding out the identity of the child from day one. He eventually contacted a New Jersey psychic to find out any leads who gave him the address of a foster home. Upon reaching there, he found a bassinet of the same company, J.C. Penney, in whose cardboard box the body of the child was wrapped. He became positive that the owner of the foster home might have killed the child, for he was possibly the son of the owner's unwed daughter. However, Later investigations carried out in 1998 proved that it was baseless because no such child had ever been seen by the relatives or the neighbors throughout. So this theory was busted. This claim was found based on the DNA sample which was collected from the tooth of the deceased child after exhuming the body. For years, nothing else was found about the child, but then in 2002, a woman named Martha, who is also regarded as M, revealed some distressing facts about the case. She accused her mother of killing her child by brutally beating him in 1954. Later on, the testimonies of the neighbors proved that the woman had a condition of mental illness and there was no such child that she claimed as her own. This made the case come to its starting point again. In 2008, another revelation was made by Frank Bender, who released a strange sketch of a girl with long hair locks. He explained that somehow the family in which the child was born was going through some emotional crisis under which they must have altered the personality of the guy as a girl after killing him. His hair was trimmed again to match the looks of a boy. Bender also explained that it might be the reason why the boy was rarely seen by neighbors, because he was never brought up as a boy, but as a girl. So he eventually released a reconstructed sketch for getting any possible leads, but nothing was found. In 2016, tech led to a very interesting development in the case. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children developed a forensic facial reconstruction of the face. The purpose was once again to get any possible leads, and for that purposes, the child's body was once again exhumed to find DNA samples for addition to the national database. Right after retrieving the DNA samples, the database received a request from two individuals, Jim Hoffman and Louis Romano. They requested to match the DNA samples of the deceased child with a family belonging to Memphis, Tennessee. Originally, Hoffman received this tip from an anonymous man belonging to Memphis. The man later introduced him to Romano. Together, in 2013, they found evidence which was bizarre, yet believed was going to become significant for the case. So they submitted the request to the Philadelphia police in 2013, alongside submitting it to the VDOC Society. Now, if you don't know what a VDOC Society is, then let me tell you that it's a society of retired police officers who often guide the serving police officers in cases. Finally, in 2017, Sergeant Bob Kohlmeyer revealed that the DNA obtained from the family in Memphis was not related to the child. As the years were drifting forward, the mystery was becoming more difficult to be solved. However, with the latest genetic testing techniques, the child was finally identified as Joseph Augustus Zarelli in November 2022. Well, you must be thinking how all of a sudden the identity was finally revealed. So, it happened right when one of Joseph's first cousins uploaded his DNA sample to the public database. Right when the authorities matched Joseph's DNA samples with him, the investigators finally got the lead which they were looking for. So, they requested the mother of the cousin to submit her samples to the GED match, which helped in complete genealogy profiling. Using that, it was eventually found that Joseph was the lost 4-year-old child of the Zarelli family, who was born in January 1953. In January 2023, the Philadelphia police finally revealed that Joseph was the son of Augustus John Zarelli and Mary Elizabeth Plunkett, who were big names in the Delaware Valley. This further gave an indication that Joseph belonged to an affluent and reputable family, which might have led to the murder because often rich people share animosity due to various reasons. However, the Philadelphia police gave the statement that they were still looking for the potential leads and motives behind the murder, and now that the identity of Joseph is revealed, they will appreciate any public assistance to solve this mystery. Another possible theory emerged in January 2023, right when the names of Joseph's parents were revealed. The NBC 10 Philadelphia showed the concern that thought Joseph was born to Augustus and Mary, yet there is no strong evidence which supports the fact that he was seen as a part of the family. It also raised questions whether he was abducted while he was very young, or was he concealed from the outside world due to some reason. Whatever the potential motive behind this murder and what's the truth of America's lost child, it still remains a dark mystery. The saddening fact is that this child couldn't even find peace after his death, as his burial sites were changed frequently. Initially, after his body was found in the woods, he was buried in Potter's Field by local police of Delaware. Later on, when his body was exhumed for the first time in 1998, he was reburied at Ivy Hill Cemetery, Cedarbrook, Philadelphia. By that time, his identity was still unknown, so the tombstone carried the engravings of America's lost child. But this year, in 2023, as the 70th birthday of Joseph approached and his identity was finally revealed before the world, a new engraving carrying his name was finally added before the earlier used title. With the new leads on the case, the police are hopeful that eventually they will find out the truth behind this gruesome murder. However, this is a brutal fact that eventually the truth will be out there before the world. But it has already been too late for Joseph's biological parents, as they are no longer in this world to witness the prevalence of justice. Yet, the positive side is that there are still some existing family members of Joseph's family who hope that they will find out the truth soon. Well, that's all from today's case. Tell us what you think about this in the comments. Also, if you feel that this case was an intriguing one, like this video and share it with all your friends. Also, subscribe to our AF Crime channel for finding more shocking tales around the world. And if you have any criminal case that you would like me to investigate, share it in the comment section below.